Incredibly disappointed in the loss, and now we've got to figure out, and we've got to come back swinging because we put our own backs against the wall. So we're the only ones that can fix it, and I know this group will stick together, and that's what they'll do. So with that, how about some questions, please?
Fitz, does it start with the offensive line? Is that where the offensive woes begin?
It looked to me like a bunch of one-man breakdowns. It looked like we had a bunch of one guys. Pick your position. That's what it looked like. And trying to do some different things, change some different protections, so we've got to obviously look at what we're doing schematically first. It's on us as coaches, and then we got to look at personnel.
Offensively, did you see any bright spots today, or was it just a?
That's an awesome question. No, I mean obviously we got to credit to Penn State. They played really well. They played well and got after us. So we'll credit them.
Coach, was there something specific that was going wrong every time that the offense got across midfield in the first half? I think it was 4 different drives.
Yeah, like I said earlier in my statement, we had opportunities there across the 50, right? And self-inflicted wounds, it looked like, from my standpoint. We get a great run, we get a penalty, we get inside the 10 or at the 10, we get a penalty. Those are things we've got to be more disciplined with. And, you can't do that against a good football team. We had opportunities right there, right? Now you seize momentum, you're at home. And to go over, you got to credit Penn State. Great job by them.
Okay. 2 targeting ejections.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that situation?
Like I said all offseason, I'm a fan of the call. I think we need to eliminate head-to-head contact, and with both guys. I mean, I embrace both those guys after both plays and tell them, hey, if this is what happened, and listen, I love you, and we got to lower the strike zone, and so. That's typically what I've done. The same thing. We haven't had a lot of them. And same thing at Duke when Jared. I want to make sure I talk to those guys, and I want them to know how I feel about them. Not one of those guys is trying to go out and hurt anybody. There was no intent. They're trying to play football. And as soon as Patty comes over, I got a young man who's pretty emotional. He's pretty upset, and I'm trying to get him to relax a little bit and smile from a standpoint of understanding that he's just got to lower the contact zone and. That we love him and let's learn from this and move forward. And I know that he and Godwin will. But again, I got little boys that play football, and with the heads up initiative and all the things of trying to take the head out of contact and out of the game with hits. I'll always be a proponent of that call. I just got to coach our guys better and be more disciplined.
And Fitz, you also agree with the fact that Godwin will miss the second half next week, and I'm sorry, first half next week, and how much does that?
That's the rules. Yeah, that's the rules.
Coach, limiting Barkley in the first half, obviously before Patty went out, it looked like him and Nate Hall were playing really well. What were you able to do there to hold him on the ground?
Well, I think that credit goes up front to the D-line. I thought those guys were able to hold a point of attack well to allow our linebackers to flow. And, you get Patty out of there and we misfit the one long run that he had. I think all in all, I think our run defense for the most part was pretty solid. Our inability to tackle on the perimeter really hurt us today. That and third down, what it looked like.
Going back to the offense real quick, it seemed like in the first half you guys had some rhythm and then it would break down, but you guys were getting plays, you were moving the ball in the field. And then the second half you come out, I think 3 nets in the first 3 drives. Do you think there was any difference, or do you think there was difference offensively in the second half of the first half, even though you didn't?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go back to what I said earlier. It looked like we had a bunch of one-man breakdowns, and we got to look at what we're doing schematically first. It's on us as coaches, and then we'll take a look at the personnel if we got to make some changes.
You guys started off brutally last season, especially on offense, and then you flipped it. Yeah. How did you do it, and do you see a chance for that this year?
I mean, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think, first of all, we got to – it's so funny on defense. The defensive tackles can all be wrong. The linebackers can be wrong, and the safeties make you right. On offense, you got to operate as one heartbeat. You got to be able to be in rhythm. It starts up front, and when we've got some breakdowns, what it looked like to me in certain situations that are absolutely critical for us being able to sustain drives and be successful, it just kills momentum and it kills the continuity. And that's what it looked like today to me from my vantage point without watching the tape and listening to what our conversations were. So yeah, absolutely. I firmly believe in our guys. I firmly believe in what they can do and how they can do things. We just got to coach them up and get them to execute it and play better.
What was your assessment of Clayton today?
We lost. You know, we lose as a team, and you know that's the way it is. You know, when you're you're the quarterback and you win, it's a great deal, and you probably get way too much credit. And when you don't play well as a team, you know, the quarterback, like anybody in that role, probably gets too much of the blame, and that's just the reality of our sport. But you know, he's a guy that I think, again, it's hard to be successful when you got people pushed up in your face. It's hard to be successful when it looks like we're not getting a lot of separation, and the concept, if we get separation in one area, now opens up for another one. So there's just a lot of things that we can do, and we got to just work our tails off to get it done.
Fitz, you had a lot of successful offenses where you had a running threat at quarterback. Why isn't Matt part of that? Why has he never reached a point where you use him regularly in games before blowouts?
Well, he hasn't been a part of it earlier in his career because he hadn't been healthy, and you know, now that he is, you know, I don't know, maybe he should be. You busy Monday? Come on up. We'll game plan together. I could use you. We'll have some fun. It'll be a good time. I'll buy lunch.
Fitz, are you encouraged by the way your defense played without a lot of help from the offense?
Well, again, I think our team came ready and prepared to battle today. I don't think we were ill-prepared. I just think we didn't execute. And, that, again, it's on us as coaches. We've got to get the guys to, you know, is it overthinking? Is it not trusting in their own abilities? Is it communicate? I mean, there's a lot of things that you kind of go through in your checklist to really look at why we're not clicking. You know, and you go back 2 weeks ago, and we put up almost 700 yards of offense, right? Or 3 weeks ago, I guess it was, with the bye. So, you know, you just know that it's in there, and you just keep driving the guys to work them, to help them work to get better. And it's you know, you're 5 games into the season. I got a pretty good idea what our issues are. I think you experts do too. So what I'm going to do is work my tail off to get those things fixed. You know, that's what you do. It's a battle. You got to battle. You just got to fight it through, and I know they will. And you know, I'm sure there's a million answers flying out there on the internet.
Well, you know what a lot of them are. I mean, people are forever frustrated with your offensive staff, and they think that you need to make changes.
I think that anytime we don't have success, it's fair. You know, I think any time that you don't go out and have, you know, a couple of good weeks of any performance on any side of the ball, any of those types of feelings as a fan are absolutely fair. I mean, I have zero issue with that. But, you know, I look at things holistically, and I always have and I always will. So it starts with me. I'm the one that's responsible, and so I'm the one that's got to get it fixed.
Last year, it seemed like your offense was scuffling a bit early in the season, then you really turned it around against Iowa and Michigan State. Was there anything you learned last year that you think?
Yeah, I mean, there really weren't a whole lot of new plays. There wasn't a whole lot of new scheme. I think the guys just got kind of tired of having breakdowns, and they just started playing, and we got a little good momentum going. And, you know, here we go. All of a sudden, that positive thing turns back around, and we start moving the ball really well. So, you know, again, I believe in those guys, and I believe in our staff, and I believe in our young men on offense, and we just got to keep battling to get better.
On the 4th and, I think, 3, when you guys were in the speed option and got blown up, what was the thought process then? What did you see in the play?
From my vantage point, it looked like they had edge pressure. We collected the second guy. We were optioning number 2. It looks like 2 came up the field a little bit, and penetration from inside on the guard was the one that blew it up. So it looks like we had kind of what we wanted. We just had inside pressure that forced Clayton to have to duck into the pitch key. So that's what we were thinking.
Like that, when Clayton sees a lot of guys in the box, I think there might have been 8 or 9 guys in the box, the way that the formation worked out. Is there an option for him to check into a different play?
Sure there is. Yeah, but, you know, usually when you got 8 or 9 guys in the box and you got 2 outside and you collect the second, you pitch off the end man on the line of scrimmage, it goes for a big play. So that's what the thought process was there. Yeah.
You just said that after 5 weeks you've identified what the issues are. What are these?
Well, inconsistency on offense, without a doubt. You know, we can't be inconsistent like we are right now. We've put our defense into a really tough situation. They've been on the field too long in certain scenarios. Our inability to score points obviously puts us in a tough spot defensively and as a team. And then our lack of turnovers today. You know, I think we've got to continue to get back. I think we're -4 right now in the turnover ratio. and that's somewhere that we've got to improve. Got to look at our return units from a standpoint of do we have the right guys deep? Do we have the right guys blocking for them? And then our coverage on the one play, it looked like we had a couple guys on the ground, so I think that was probably a good holding call. But for the most part, we've been pretty solid most of the year. But got to be better in our return game. And then, defensively, we got to tackle better in space. It looked like today we had a bunch of one-on-one opportunities that we didn't tackle very well out in space, and we gave up explosion plays because of it. And obviously, it's all glued together. We got to coach them better. So it's all one.
Seemed like Justin was looking like his old self in the first half. How close to 100% is he?
Yeah, I think he's gaining on it. I think it's been a tough month. I really do. I think it's been a tough month for him, but he practiced all week, and to see him back out there, I think not only for him individually, but for us collectively, a team was, you saw the spark. So, looked much better today. I'm so happy for him.